GTA 6 has been delayed again.
Now that was a lot of damage.
Not for the second time or even the third time, and with the way things are looking, this won't be the last. We went from a 2025 release date to the beginning of 2026 to May 2026 and now November of next year, with news coming out that Rockstar is laying off hundreds of union employees in favor of making their work environments match the efforts they put into the company. At this point, I don't even want to play the fucking game anymore, man. I mean, just take one moment to think about how much we have seen come and go in the blink of an eye. Somehow, all before this game, we've seen the entire life and death of XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD, Prime J. Cole, multiple Prime Fortnite, confirmation of a new avatar after Korra, a Toy Story 5, the return of Victorious, I got an apartment and a better job, got into TikTok for Creator Summit, moved across the country 6 times, got into a major TikTok drama, watched Sinners 20 times, started a long-term relationship, found my career, beat Starfield, wrote a screenplay, and witnessed the comeback of Amazing World of Gumball and many other classic series from the 2010s, all before GTA 6. And I say this to say that the peak hype we had for this game was maybe 5 to 6 years after the release of GTA 5. After we had enough time to experience GTA Online and what Heist had to offer, around 2018 or 2019 is the time where we all really were hyped and expecting GTA 6 to drop. And then Rockstar gave us the best game of all time, Red Dead Redemption, which is definitely enough to satiate those of us who aren't smooth brain in the in-between time of the Grand Theft Auto. This honestly would have been more than enough to appease me during the wait time, had they not completely abandoned Red Dead and Red Dead Online in favor of continuing to make billions of dollars in shark cards and other microtransactions related to GTA Online. Just take a moment to think about how much life-changing 11 out of 10 gaming experience it already had, but Rockstar not money hungry and using grimy business practices and sell their game. Now that GTA 6 is coming out November 2026, it's certainly safe to say that their plan is just to ensure that they get the absolute maximum profit. Not only this generation of consoles at the very end of their life cycle, mind you, but also from the PS6 and the next box that we end up getting around the same time, since it's holiday. And while they are a business first and foremost, you can't help but wonder if Rockstar ever cared about the consumer beyond literally milking their pockets dry with any and every form of digital currency imaginable to the human. And this is not even mentioning the fact that there's literally ex-Rockstar employees protesting right outside in reference to a bunch of them being laid off for apparently leaking sensitive information about the game over Discord. However, there's a post made by one of the ex-employees affected by all this that tells a very different story. I'm gonna read it right now to let you in on it so you can decide with. Hey everyone, Rockstar employee of many years here. Understandably, I want to remain anonymous due to retaliation from the company, but I may be willing to verify I'm an employee with over DM. I'm also a member of the union. I've been reading a lot of discussion on here and elsewhere about firing of more than 34 of my colleagues last week, and I've seen a lot of disinformation and lies that are really concerning, particularly concerning how many folks are willing to believe the company's excuse. Last week, my colleagues who were in the studio were each individually messaged by HR for a short friendly under the friendly guise of, hey, are you free for a quick chat? Upon attending this meeting, they were handed an envelope with a short letter stating that their employment had been terminated for gross misconduct regarding posts made in Discord. They failed to provide any evidence when asked, nor was any stated in the letter, and did not divulge any other information or reasoning, and no other reason. They refused their right to union representation in the disciplinary meeting, which is against UK employment law, and were frog marched out of the studio with the meeting lasting less than 5 minutes. The colleagues who were not in the studio that day, they received a phone call from HR that lasted less than 2 minutes, telling them they were fired and that they'd received the same letter as above. I'm aware of one employee who had a panic attack at this moment, and HR hung up on them during this panic attack, not caring at all about their well. These colleagues of mine were hard workers who have spent many years at Rockstar in critical roles, with colleagues who have been at Rockstar for more than 18 years, and none of them have ever had a disciplinary in that time. They are not easily replaced and will certainly affect us in making our project deadline. These are very senior artists, animators, QA testers, designers, programmers, including leads, all super talented people who were proud of their work over multiple Rockstar titles. All they wanted was the best for Rockstar and their fellow colleagues. Some of these members were off sick, recovering from surgery, or on paternity leave without pay, losing their careers and putting them into hardship in the lead of even potentially losing their visas to work in the UK. Let me make this clear. I never saw any discussion / leaking of Rockstar projects. The only ever discussion was around unionization efforts and the working conditions at Rockstar. Discord wasn't public. It was a private Discord group that only contained Rockstar employees and the IWGB union. This was union busting and nothing else. Everyone fired was a union member. They were also predominantly from those who were on the union organizing committees of each UK studio. Just 1 week before, the union had reached 200 members, taking us over the 10% threshold required recognition and begin engaging in collective bargaining, allowing us to negotiate directly with management on the key issues that affect us: worsening crunch, inadequate pay, and inflexible working arrangements. They have now fired over 34 of us. There were over 250 of us in that union / employee Discord. There is the fear that if they get away with this, they'll have nothing stopping them from doing this again and again. Those of us who are lucky and remain for now work in fear. Fearful when talking to each other at the tea prep, fearful that we're next in line and easily got rid of, too scared to go outside the studio and talk or even acknowledge our colleagues outside protesting in fear for privacy. Morale in the studio is at a rock bottom. on. When we should be excited about what's to come over the next year, we are now totally deflated and our trust and confidence in others is totally shot. Now, from what this employee just said, it seems like Rockstar is definitely gearing themselves up to be the main villains of this story. I mean, in all honesty, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if GTA 6 has always been a ploy. They never even intended to, rather keep fans suspended in a limbo-like state of desire and financial investment in their current product, in order to fill the void left behind by the massive promise of this game. I'll simply revert back to playing GTA Online and buying shark cards for, or simply disassociate and stop anticipating the arrival of the game entirely. And things like this force me to question if their plan the entire time has been simply to get the game scrapped or canceled mid-development in order to pocket all the $2 billion budget behind GTA 6 development through the usage of tax write-off. I mean, just think about the amount of delays we face, along with the fact that they are firing dozens, if not hundreds, of their main team, union employees. This is not only going to obviously affect the game's development, but also make it likely that this is not even going to be the final delay we see for the game. At this point, I don't think I'd even be surprised if the game ended up coming out in 2027. And if this game does get delayed again, I can guarantee you that no Gen Z or Gen Alpha kid on the planet will have the attention span to get. There was only a 5-year gap between GTA 4 and 5, and it's going to have been over 13 years by the time GTA 6 is allegedly going to come out. I honestly believe this release date they just gave us is also 100% bull. Rockstar and Master Rage Bait know exactly how to get our hopes up just enough to feign continued interest, only to swipe it away at the very last second and at the very worst time. Now the Cucklord CEO of Take-Two is trying to save face in interviews by claiming that he's confident in the game's new, even though he literally said the exact same thing about the last release they gave us in May. He also tried to cite the fact that when games are released too early, bad things happen, which seems to be like a fair thing to say. I mean, we all remember the Cyberpunk disaster. However, the easiest way to solve and fix problems like that is to simply not announce the fucking game prematurely. Why give us a trailer in 2023 for a game set to release in 2025 if you know it's not ready and you're not going to release it even with that 2-year window of time? What is the purpose of hyping up your fan base in order to potentially generate pre-sales and community interest if you know you're going to treat the project like a rollout that's always going to be 1 year away from actually happening? As much as I hate to say it right now, GTA 6 is starting to look like a scam, an idea to promote more funds for Take-Two and Rockstar without them ever even having to actually follow. I honestly hope that I'm wrong about that. I hope that Rockstar isn't a greedy and grubby company that would rather fire their talented, long-time employees than fairly competent. I hope that GTA 6 is an actual game, not a psyop made. Make us constantly remain in a state of limbo waiting for pixels that will never come. Imagine if this whole thing is literally one giant 15-year-long rage bait troll. Honestly, Rockstar can fuck off. I'm not even looking forward to the game anymore, nor am I looking forward to the inevitable tweet from them half a year from now telling us they're sorry for another year-long delay. I honestly believe that One Piece will end before we see a physical game. Ultimately, this is just my opinion. How do you feel about all this delay news? So hyped for GTA 6? Let me know about your take in the comments. Leave a like on the video and consider subscribing if you're new. Thanks for watching. I love and appreciate you all. Sun God signing off.
I come in clutch like a genie. Don't talk unless you need me. You talk too much, you need it. All of my bitches look like models, she in love with me. When we link, it's flashing lights and cameras, got a blend.